let's answer the burning question on everyone's lips. Is it too late to make it on Instagram? Okay, so a lot of people ask me this question. Is it too late to make it on Instagram? Currently, maybe you're sharing a lot on YouTube and you want to, shift over to IG and you're like, is it dead over there? Do people even make sales over there? I hear no one gets views and everyone's stuck at 300 views, etc. Or you're already actively on Instagram and you're like, I feel like it's dead. Like, does this thing even work? And I hear you, I feel you. This is not an uncommon thought pattern. And as a business coach, I want to remind you of a few really important things. To summarize, Instagram is absolutely not dead and it is definitely not too late. But let me explain why. Making it on Instagram maybe just looks a little bit different to how it looked a few years ago. Back then it was all about like going viral and getting lots of likes and 100k months and all of these things. And now, as everything happens, everything that rises flows. Everything that rises has an ebb. Everything that, it's this pulse of reality. It's this pulse of the world. And that's okay. And Instagram's no different to this, but mark my words, and I wrote this literally in our newsletter at the end of 2024, talking about 2025, that there's going to be this rhetoric of like, is Instagram, the era of Instagram over? And my advice to everyone was stay on Instagram, keep doing your thing, and you'll be so grateful for it. I've been online on Instagram for about 10, 11 years running different businesses, and it has always been the main place I make my income, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars over and over again. And that's because it doesn't die, it changes. Yeah, it doesn't die, it changes and it shifts. And we as humans, it's our job to be in that shift, but also to remember to have fun. Like somewhere along the line, I think we forgot it was meant to be a lot of fun, but it still works. It is not dead. And let me explain a few reasons why. I mean, of course I know that, but how you can make it work for you as well. I think a long time ago, we just focused on, there was a lot of like a chat about cold DMs, and just cold DMs alone worked really well. That's not the case anymore. We really need a presence. We need a personal brand. So we're going to park that thought for a second. We're going to go back to it. With your DMs though, I want you to think about building connection and warm DMs. This means everyone who's following you, you should be getting in touch with. This means that you should have a DM system that works for you to be having conversations. This last few days, we've made 8 sales into our epic new program, and 100% of those came from high quality DM conversations over the last few days/week. Now, what I want you to remember is they're not just getting the DM in isolation. They're seeing my stories, they're seeing my posts, they're getting to know me, they're getting this whole experience of what it would be like to work with Adriana. And I want that exact same thing for you. So that brings me to this little personal brand concept we parked over here and bring it back to the forefront. There has never been, ever, a more important time than right now to build your personal brand. This means making your business, yes, about you, but also still remaining the authority. This means lots of good quality content, showing your personality, showing who you are, showing your face. There's never been a more important time for this, because people don't just want one aspect or flavor of you. They want all of them. They want the stories version, the long form content version right here on YouTube, the DMs version, the short form content version. They want it all, and they want to know you as the brand. So as you're doing this and sharing this, where some people feel like, well, it's dead on here, is because views can get really low and likes and comments are lower than ever before. This in theory has lots of reasons. One, because there's more users than ever before, people are watching differently than ever before, but they are still watching. They're sharing, saving. It's just that consumer behavior is a little bit different. So how can you adapt and reflect on that part of things? The other thing is that I see a lot is people are not inviting people to work with them enough. They're sharing all these other cool things, but they're forgetting the invitation. The sales invitation is, hey, you liked this? Would you love to work together? Hey, you liked that? There's actually a really cool opportunity to work together on this. That is really important. inviting people into your world so they know how to work with you is the key to your success and feeling like social media is not a dead zone. So I hear you ask, how do I sell without feeling super icky and weird? Again, probably a whole other video, but let's keep some reminders in here. So something I really want you to think about is, how do you tie stuff back? So if you're sharing something, how do you tie it back to remind people, hey, you can be part of it this way? Or, hey, if this sounds like you, send me a DM. And remembering that not just to rely on that way of marketing and selling either. A lot of the time I find we like really get tunnel visioned into one way or one thing. So overall, I would say it is definitely not too late to make it on Instagram, and there is no better time than the present all the time. You know, people say like things boom and then they die, and I think people say that for a lot of things over a long period of time, and we see this a lot if we look at history. And like, let's use property for example. We're like, never invest in property, and then like 2 years later they're like, if you had have invested in property. It's kind of like this, right? Instagram is really, really similar. And remember, it's about having the display book that we talked about in one of the other videos as well, that your Instagram is. So it's not dead. You can still make it on Instagram with the right tools, the right strategies, and remembering to have a little bit of fun with it. Be in your expression. So my loves, I hope you found this useful and a really helpful reminder for your own mindset. Below, you can jump on our email list where we talk about a lot more things just like this, of how to overcome these barriers, of what to share on your Instagram and all of that fun stuff. Until then, my loves, I'm so excited to keep seeing you here and enjoying these deliciousness here on YouTube. Thank you for being here.